Welcome to the AccessBase2000 Startup Module 2. My name is Paul Jones. I'm a technical trainer and I'll be doing the presentation. The startup consists of 5 steps. What we want to do is take an access control panel or a telephone entry panel, get it up and running, what we call a quick install. And the quick install consists of 5 steps. We need to install the telephone entry access control into the AccessBase2000 software. We need to configure the panel. We need to add a card holder, add a credential, and upload that information to the panel. Step number 1. When you open up AccessBase2000, it's going to open up to an installation called Acme Manufacturing Demo. This is just a demo that we put in the software. Do not build your installation upon a demo. There's people's names in there, there's equipment in there that you don't have on your job. What you want to do is open up your own installation. And to do that, you click on File, New, name the installation. We call this one Quick Install, and select OK. Now with the blue bar all the way at the top, you see Quick Install. It's above File, View, Setup, and Help. Now I know I'm working with that installation. If I left-click on the symbol of the hammer and screwdriver, that's your toolbar that's going to help us navigate through different screens. What we want to do is select Network, and this is your network screen. Across the top, we have yellow telephones that simulate the 8 different networks we can have. A through H across the top is the 8 networks we can have, and I can have 8 panels networked together via 485 on each network for a total of 64 panels. The panels can be the AM3+, AE1000+, or AE2000+. You can mix and match them any way you like. What we want to do is connect to our panel and install it in Network A and its address number 1. What I need to do is go to Network A, left-click on it, and we'll go to Edit the Settings for this network. We have the factory password 123456. We see that our network is enabled. For this demonstration, we are going to use a 232 port, and we're connecting through COM port number 1. If I was going to use a dial-up, I would put modem in that screen, and the place to put the phone number would become available right there. So we're set up using COM port 1, and we're going to click OK. In the lower left-hand corner, we have another yellow telephone, and this is the on-off line. We go online with the panel by selecting this icon. Once we select that icon, in this case, we have an AM3+ panel. You see your panel being an AM3+, 1000+, 2000+, flashing next to that number 1. That tells us that we at AccessBase sees the panel, but we haven't installed it in the software itself. What we need to do is left-click on that flashing node, be it the AM3+, 1000+, or 2000+. We left-click on it, and we see Install Panel. We need to select Install Panel. The next screen gives us the opportunity to name your controller, as well as the 4 relays, A, B, C, and D. For telephone entries, it might be, the controller name might be East Gate, West Gate. As far as the AM3+ access control panel is concerned, it might be a good idea to name that panel to where it's physically located. Second floor IDF, telco room. Because at some point, there might be a service person walking around this installation looking for the physical location of that panel, and they can look in the software and tell it where it's going to be. As far as the channels are concerned, those are your relays. It's a good rule of thumb to label your relays as to what they're actually activating. Front lobby door, a front gate is another example. We will call our AM3, our controller, AM3. Our channel A is going to activate the north gate, and channel B is going to activate the south gate. After we label, we click Next, and this screen tells us we have to configure the panel. or node. By configure the node, what we mean to say is we need to tell that panel what is wired to it. Do I have a card reader wired to it? Do I have a keypad wired to it? Which relay do I want it to fire? So once we've installed the panel, pretty much we select Finish. And after we select Finish, that node, in this case the AM3 Plus, is on steady. It is no longer flashing. What we've done is installed the panel into the software. We have completed step 1. Next, we have to move on to step 2 to configure the panel. Once again, to tell that panel what we have wired to it. I left-click on that panel, and we have more options. In this case, we want to select Node Setup. That brings us to the Remote Device tab. Select Remote Device. In this screen, we can see is where we're going to link our remote devices to which relay we want it to activate. DV1 through 6 are for P-bus inputs, and P-bus is Linear Communication Protocol. DV7 is a phone. In this case, it's an AM3 Plus. It cannot be changed. If it's a telephone, it cannot be changed. I can change which relay I want it to fire, but I cannot change what it is. DV8 and 9 are for 2630 or 31-bit Wiegand formats. In this case, we have a keypad, an AMKP, and we have addressed it number 1. So what we'll do is we'll say device number 1, you're a keypad, and I want you to activate the north gate. In this installation, we also have a card reader. It's wired to the reader A input, or DV8, and we want that card reader to activate the south gate relay. Once we configure this panel with our keypad and our Wiegand device, we select Apply, and we have completed step number 2, configure the panel. To continue to step 3, add card holder, we need to go to the card holders. We left-click on the 2 yellow card holders, and that brings us to the card holder screen. We have 2 card holder sets always built into AccessBase2000, All Access and New Access. If I put someone in All Access, that's exactly what they have, access to everything on that installation 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If I put someone in No Access, once again, that's exactly what they have. They have no access to anything on that property. What we want to do is create our own cardholder set. So to create our own cardholder set, we see the 2 yellow people with the green plus sign. If I select that, I will see what they have, access to everything on that property 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If I put someone in no access, once again, that's exactly what they have, no access to anything on that property 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. To create a new cardholder set, we would left-click on the 2 yellow people with the green plus sign, and then we could assign different validation or access levels to them. That will be covered in another module. For this installation, we're going to select All Access, and we need to put a person in the All Access cardholder set. Once we selected All Access, a single person with the green plus sign became available. We can use this icon to add our first cardholder. Select that icon, and our first cardholder appears. If I select the first cardholder, we need to give this person a first name, a last name, and a home phone number. I've called my cardholder John Linear, and his home phone number is 1231234. Now that I've given him a name and a telephone number, I will apply. We have a credentials box. This is where I can add credentials to John Linear. I can give him a transmitter, a card, an entry code, or a directory code. To add an entry code, we will left-click on the entry code button, and I can put my cursor in the entry code box. My entry codes can be 2 to 8 digits in length, and they do not have to be all the same length. I simply type in what code I want to give to John Linear, select Assign, and now I see that John Linear has code 1234, and an icon of a keypad appears, letting me know that John Linear indeed has an entry code. Now we need to give him a card, so I will select Cards. There are 2 ways to add cards into AccessBase2000. For the startup, we're going to use the Assign New Individual Card button. So select Assign New Individual Card. I simply type in the encoded number on the card under Card ID, and I select OK. Now I can look that John Linear has that card assigned to him, and I also have an icon that tells me that he has a card. If we need to add a transmitter, that would be the exact same process. We would simply just click on Transmitters, select Assign New Individual Transmitter, and assign a directory code. If we wanted to add a directory code, we would just simply select directory codes, assign them a directory code, and apply. Once we have applied, and we're done with all our credentials, we've just completed step 3 and 4. Now all we need to do is upload the information to the panel, which is step 5. I will see occasional red flash next to SD and RD on the left-hand side of our Online with Installation icon. This is just communication. It stands for Send Data, Receive Data. I also notice that my middle button with the red arrow pointing up is the icon for uploading the information to the panel. It's illuminated, and that tells me there's information in the database that has not been sent to our AM3 Plus panel. I'm going to left-click on that button, and I see that there are 54 packets of information waiting to be sent. Since I'm connected to that panel, it will start counting down, 54, 53, 52, 51. When it reaches 0, I am complete, and I also see that my upload button is now grayed out. When that number is 0, the startup is complete, and our node, our AM3 panel, should be up and running. If I put a check mark in the Disconnect After Programming box, then every time I upload, when the programming is done, AccessBase will automatically disconnect. That completes the startup process. For more information, feel free to go to module number 3, adding cardholders and credentials, or module number 4, AccessBase2000 validation groups. My name